Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Stumps and Sixes, where every cricket moment finds its own voice. Now, today we'll be analyzing on today's match between Gujarat Giants and Royal Challengers Bangalore. This match was the second match played in this Delhi leg. So now we have two experts, and we have one special guest, Shreyas. Please welcome him, as well as our own cricket analyst, Girisham Sundar, also with us. So my first question of the match is, can you tell me about the batting innings first of RCB?
Uh, Batting is first of RCB, right? So they were chasing. RCB's innings was really a non-starter. They made a mistake by opening with Sabineni Meghana instead of Sophie Devine. Like, no offense, she had a great time in the Bangalore leg, but that's when the wickets were too paced and she could take more time and stand in the crease and play a longer innings. And the reason they persisted with her opening was because she scored 28 of 21 in the last match, which doesn't really make sense because when you're chasing a total like 200 and the wicket is so good to bat on like this, you need someone like Sophie Devine opening with Smriti Mandhana because her ability, her range of shots, her destructive ability is no match for Meghna, and they missed a trick there. And today, every player has these bad days. Like, it's not really her fault, but she couldn't time the ball. And another factor is because you watch the opponent openers play like that, and you put that pressure in yourself. You try to hit the ball harder and mistime them. You just go hard at everything, and I think that put a lot of pressure on Smriti Mandhana as well. And she got out to a good ball, but basically what Ashley Gardner did, 2 overs, 2 runs, 1 wicket in the power play, that pretty much killed the chase off. So everything RCB did after that point was basically trying to reduce the net run rate defeat, and they did that pretty well. But imagine if Sophie Devine had opened the batting with Smriti Mandhana, they could have even been in the chase and tried to win the match. But lots of credit to Richa Ghosh and Georgia Wareham for the way they played, and those runs that they scored at the end to save the net run rate could be crucial in RCB making the playoffs at the end of the tournament. So you never know.
Yes, Girisham, what is your opinion? Since you're an RCB fan, what will you analyze today? It was not to be their night today after what they ended in Bangalore leg.
I think Shreyas makes a great point here. I think absolutely. I think the power play was the major difference. The way the captain and Laura Wolvaardt had started going, that made the major difference. And as he mentioned, I don't know if I agree with him that they had to reshuffle it again because Meghana coming at the top of the order is their first reshuffle. To shuffle and again reshuffle and keep shuffling, maybe they wanted to give Meghana another chance, but again, that is where they came up short. I think she got like 16 balls or something. She wasted a few balls, and I think that's what they came up short. The way Wareham was batting at the end of the innings, maybe if she had another over extra, who knows how the match would have ended. So he makes a great point there. But I maybe for the next match we can see Divine come up the order again. But again, in one sentence, if I had to say, this is just a hot and cold RCB, the usual RCB that we've seen in IPL and now in WPL. They always blow hot and cold. One match you see them, you see they're in it to win it, and the next match you see they were never in it in the first place. So some typical signs for RCB. But again, nice. I think a couple of bright spots to take away. I think Wareham as a batting all rounder has been coming out great. She's really somebody who can be again sent up the order. Yeah, I think in the end, the power play made the major difference. I think, as he said, they were playing catch up completely after it. So maybe if a different approach or if they got better returns in the power play, we might have been seeing a whole other result.
Yes, what is your opinion in the sense, Shreyas, about RCB's inconsistent? They win one match, they lose one match, then win one match, lose one match. They're not having a consistent. Though they have had a good season so far, there's a little inconsistency in it. So what is your opinion on it?
I mean, again, I wouldn't attribute today's match to inconsistency more rather than they just faced a better opponent and they just picked the wrong time to play the Gujarat Giants, I would say, because this was coming. Gujarat Giants' strength is always those four overseas players because their Indian player core is the worst in the league. Everyone knows that. And on this day, Beth Mooney is a world class player. Laura Wolvaardt, class player. She showed that today, right from ball one when she hit that flick shot in the first over, perfect timing. You knew it was going to be a tough day, and the only way they could get them out itself was through a run out, which was again a slight error on Beth Mooney's part. I'm sure we'll come to that later in the show. So I wouldn't attribute this loss more to like a RCB's fault. There's not much RCB could have done because they tried everything apart from Simran Bahadur. Smriti Madhana tried all the bowling options, and in the end, they even did a pretty decent job of keeping them down to 200. And with the batting, that was in my personal opinion, a tactical error. I felt, but apart from that, inconsistency. I don't really like. They won their opening two matches, and then in those next two games, they obviously came up against good opposition. Good opponents. They faced the Mumbai Indians and the Delhi Capitals after that. So I think it has more to do with who they faced and how they played. So this match and more a result of facing a better opponent it just wasn't their day.
And I think to
Yes.
add on to what Shreyas is just saying, I think when you lose four in the trot in the start of a tournament, you have nothing to lose. And as he said, RCB just came up against Gujarat at the wrong time. They really came out there, and you could see Beth Mooney at the toss. She said we have nothing to lose, and we're going to come out there striking, and they did. From ball one, they kept going, and RCB was just clueless. Smriti Mandana did make everything that she could do, but two world class players, two international players, they come here to do the job and they get the job done, and they were never in it, RCB, to be really honest.
Yes, my next question is basically about Gujarat Giants coming four in a loss. The Bangalore leg was a nightmare for them. And then my question now is that is change of venue or moving to another venue has changed their luck by starting winning? Or my question is basically about that players starting comeback form. Is it the venue change that has got them the luck, or is it their preparation that has got them getting back to winning base?
I mean,
I think, see, I wouldn't really think it's a change of venue, honestly. It's just a change of mentality that they've come out. And, it's not, honestly, as he said, it wasn't a complete team performance. There was a couple of places, if it had gone another way, it would have seemed a completely different story today. But as I said, they had nothing to lose. They came out there and, during the toss, they were just completely sure of what they wanted to do. And they came out and it just, I keep saying, when you have so many big names in your 11, one or the other day somebody's got to click, and when two people click at the same day, it just makes it really difficult for any opposition, for that matter, to come back at it. But again, it does offer a little psychological help. They feel like, okay, Delhi might have better chances for us, and it's never say never. You've seen a lot of teams. It reminds me of Mumbai way back in 2010 or 2009, if I'm not wrong, where they lost seven in a row, or they lost
Yeah.
five in a row in the beginning of a tournament, and they came back to win the tournament. So it's never say never. It's a cutthroat tournament. You never know. You can't never count anybody out. But I don't know how the Gujarat team is going to look at it. If they're going to look at it, okay, this venue works for us. It's just we've started to come together or whatever. But at the end of the day, if they're winning matches, they'll be happy. And I think going forward, they're going to take a lot of positives, and bodes well for them for the rest of the tournament.
Yes. Now, another question is about the venue, the new leg. So, only two games have happened, and both side batting first this one, and though all high scoring games. So, in your opinion, what is it? Last night also we saw between Delhi Capitals and Mumbai Indians. Delhi Capitals posted a similar type of total, and Mumbai Indians struggled chasing those total. A similar situation was here, and even RCB was in the same condition. So, is sides coming like many sides will be coming to the venue? What will be their mindset having two matches already play? Side batting first or winning first. Will it be that will they take it as saying that in this venue it's better to bat first than chase, knowing what has happened the last two games?
yeah, I mean, so far teams that have won the toss have preferred to bowl first, but after seeing the Gujarat win the toss and win the match pretty convincingly, especially for a team like Delhi Capitals or Mumbai Indians, which have strong batting lineups. They'll back themselves to bat the opposition out of the game in the first innings. I feel like it will change because we have only two games into this, and the wickets will break down as the matches go. So it also depends on how the dew factor comes in. So I guess now, since we are still in the start of March, so it's still a pretty cold, but maybe as we go further, like maybe towards the semis or the finals, the wickets may break down, it may become slower, and so when the wickets become slower, if Duke falls, it's much better to always bat second. So right now, I feel at least for the next 3 to 4 matches, if the wickets remain the same, if they play on the same surface, yeah, certainly batting first will be an option which team consider. And like props to Gujarat for actually going out bravely and choosing to bat first, because imagine RCB having same kind of innings that they played, given the current form that Gujarat would have been, I don't think they would have been able to chase it. So props to them. They won the toss and
Absolutely.
two flawless innings at the top.
Yes, now
Absolutely.
talking about the bowling department, especially, let's start with RCB's bowling since they bowled first. What is your opinion on the bowling first? Could they have done any better to restrict them below 200? Maybe things could have been different. What is your opinion? Let's start
I
with
think they did well to restrict them just to 200. I think the way
yes,
Beth Mooney and Laura Wolf after going, I thought they would get somewhere around 220 or 230. That's what it seemed like. And it was really. I was looking at a certain graphic that was coming up during the match. It said at some point they did 22 fours and not a single six. That kind of shows that they weren't really hitting it up in the air. They were just picking those gaps, working around the field and working their way through the thing. So it was completely amazingly paced, and that's something I always keep saying. In this year's WPL, I'm not seeing a lot of teams pace the innings properly, especially in the second innings, and I think RCB too fell short of that. But the way they rotated the strike and got those fours, I think every over there's at least two fours. As until I was following the match, every over there two fours. So if you have that kind of consistency, it kind of just shows off. And then they did come back, at least some sharp, throws in the field and some good stops. I think maybe they got a couple of runouts as well. But again, when two greats of the game keep going on like that, there's very less any team can do. And just RCB was just didn't expect it. It just kind of came out of syllabus, is what I would like to say.
Yeah, and
there's
to
your
add to
opinion.
that, they did have those runouts, but I thought they weren't great on the field. And
Right.
like
True.
especially when you have an over where say you bowled 5 balls and 4 runs have come off it, but then the last ball, a ball that could have been a double goes to the boundary, it changes the complete face of the over and it changes like the overall face of play. And what mainly the issue was, there were so many uh, balls that were hit at a medium pace, which where the fielder got the timing of the dives wrong, and slowly as the game progressed, this led to the bowlers feeling more pressurized. There were so many extras bowled. Like Ekta Bist was actually trying her best to keep the like the run flow in check, but she was trying to angle the ball into the right-hander Wolvaardt, but she kept bowling wides down the leg side, and especially with someone like Beth Mooney, who's one of the best players of spin in the world, and can just such a deft touch player who can just push the ball into gaps and create chances out of nothing. It just after a point you feel like you're not going to have any opportunities to take wickets only, and that's what happened. Like Gersham pointed out correctly, they didn't hit the ball in the air at all, and I think someone in the chat said there wasn't a single six hit in the first 15 overs. I think Beth Mooney's attempted the shot of Sophie Devine that went for six. The 16th over was probably the only aerial shot that was hit. Other than that, I think Wolvaardt hit a straight drive of Sophie Molyneux's bowling.
Yes,
Apart from
yes.
that, everything was on the ground. And Laura Wolvardt's cover drives, more than the ones she played of the fast bowlers, the ones she plays of the spinners is more technically difficult to play and even more beautiful to watch. So not much RCB could have done.
And one more thing, it was pretty very very indisciplined bowling. As you was talking about the extras, it's not just today's match. Even in the last match, I think they gave away 22 extras, and you can't be doing that at the highest level. That is just too many extras. And and even the kind of way those extras have come, you can see they're trying to make a plan. They're trying to work out a plan. But maybe three balls in and you've gotten three wides. Maybe it's time to think about your second plan. Sometimes going at it always is not the best idea. And even at the field, as he said, they were not at their best. I dare say this. I think they're getting a bit complacent after the last match, after a really good win. And I don't really like to think international athletes get complacent, but it just looks like that. There wasn't just that much intent. When two people are going the way Beth Mooney and Laura Wolvaardt did, one small act, some act of inspiration in the field, maybe a good catch or maybe a great stop in a run out can change the whole, how the innings has been flowing. It goes against the phase of play. It didn't happen for RCB though today, sadly, and it just didn't go their way at all.
Yes, another aspect of this game we saw was that there were so many runouts, 7 runouts. I think it's huge for in a single match to have 7 runouts. It's common to have so many catches, but runout is there. My next question is about talking about Laura Wolvaardt. We have seen her in international cricket, the way she plays for South Africa. But my question here is the way she made her impact for Gujarat Giants. Can you analyze about her innings and tell what she did in her innings to to play that same kind of level of innings she plays for South Africa at the international level, but here now for Gujarat Giants.
I think so. Both the Gujarat batters took a conscious approach not to take any risk, because when the ball is coming onto the bat so well, and you are a player who relies on timing so much, there is no need to take those risks. And I feel sometimes as a batter, you get that instinct when you're at the crease and like you play that first shot and you're like, you get that feeling that like this is your day. I felt like Wolvaardt must have felt like that, because I don't think she mistimed a single shot. And especially for a player like that, she's one of the most like aesthetically pleasing batters to watch. And she she pretty much, I would say she deserved the Player of the Match award more than Mooney, because had she not been run out by her captain, she certainly would have got to 100. And it was her who like set the tone for the innings. She hit everyone. Mooney is really the better player of spin among the two, but Wolvaardt is also a great player of spin, and her assault didn't stop after the power play. She took on Asha Shobana. That force she hit of Georgia Wareham in like the second ball after the power play. I think that's when RCB would have really realized we're in trouble in this game, because okay, in lots of T20 matches you see teams scoring 55 runs, 60 runs in the power play. But RCB's strength so far has been the two overseas spinners who have done well. They also did well in this match, not denying that, given the circumstances. But when Wolvaardt hit that boundary through extra cover of a very good delivery from Wareham, it's when RCB realized they couldn't do nothing. So it's innings like this where you don't even give an opportunity a chance. I feel it's one of the best innings I've seen this year across all tournaments. And I feel like Wolvaardt, even last season, her highest score came against RCB. I think obviously they were out of the playoffs contention by then, but she scored well against them, and she did so again. So if Gujarat are to have a chance at making the playoffs this season, I feel both Wolvaardt and Beth Mooney have to do really well. They have to maintain the similar level of play.
Guys, I have a question for y'all. Just looking at the second innings, there was a certain bowler by the name of Shabnam Shakil, who is just 16 years of age. Guys, before I take all views for it, absolutely amazed by what a 16-year-old can do in the highest level possible. She might have not have gotten wickets today, but just the discipline, and she doesn't have the pace also to an extent. She's still 16, she's still working on her strength and conditioning, but the fact that she's been able to keep her calms for this is the first match, and even if she had gone for an over where she gave away a few loose deliveries, nobody would have blamed her. They would have completely understood, but she didn't. She was absolutely amazing, bowling the right areas and keeping the run rates down. Good signs for Gujarat and for the future, good signs for her as well. Did she impress you? What are your views?
Certainly, I was really hoping that her name would come up sometime during the show, because 16 years of age, she played in the Under 19 World Cup. What I noticed was she came to bowl in the 10th over in a T20 match. She moved the ball into Sophie Devine so much. Almost got her out first ball. Like, imagine you're coming to bowl 16 years of age, Sophie Devine and Elise Perry, two of the most destructive, two of the most iconic batters in women's cricket right now. And the way she's seeming, the ball didn't stop swinging for her, and the overs just kept rising on. I haven't seen anyone in any form of cricket do that. Like 10th over swing, unimaginable. Renuka Singh has that natural angle, she brings it, but she ran in, the ball was trailing in. It was brilliant to watch. And she honestly didn't do much wrong. Even like she finished with, I think, 27 for none in 3 overs, and she conceded like 4 or 5 boundaries, of which 2 or 3 were edges. I think Richa Ghosh played a couple of
Which
really good
isn't really her
shots.
fault.
Yeah, Richa Ghosh played some really good shots. Apart from that, she was bang on the money, and I feel pace she bowled at like around 105, 110, which I mean, no, I don't think she touched 110, but which for her age, I think
She was in mid hundreds,
16.
I think. She
Yeah,
touched 100 though.
yeah, and I think there's plenty of uh, growth potential there, and I feel like it's more about the accuracy and the amount of swing and movement she can generate. I feel like, yeah, 100 to 105, yeah. So
Just
great
before
talent. I love
Karthik,
to watch.
just before Karthik get your views, you were telling Shreyas that she came in and there were the two greats already in the crease. It brings me again. I'm a fan of drawing parallels to the men's game. There was a certain someone by the name of Jasprit Bumrah who made a debut for Mumbai, and when he came on to bowl his first over, I think it was just after the power play, if I'm not wrong, and he bowled with Chris Gale and Virat Kohli on this in the strike, and he managed to get both of them out, which is some while I was watching the match, it just came to me. What if she had got both Sophie Devine and Ellis Perry? I mean, you can't make bigger stories than that. That would have been a fairy tale ending, but not so. But she did bowl, as you said, some good lines in length. And Karthik, your views on her?
I think excellent. 16 years of age, I believe it's a very young age. If you look at young age of women's play, we see Shafali Verma, who made a debut for India at 19 years age, and still she's playing with a long career. But I believe someday she's going to get the Indian cap on her head and do this for India. As you said, playing along with VPL is that's the important of VPL. When you play tournaments like VPL, you get to play with these international and Indian superstar players. You get a lot to learn from them, as well as obviously getting a wicket of Ellis Perry and such big greats of the game will remember. Even after the day you hang your boots up and end your international career or whatever cricket, you will remember that my first wicket was a wicket of such a great player, like someone like a Perry, like you said for Bumrah. So it will be always in your head. And I think she has a bright future ahead. I wouldn't mind to be seen her in the Indian team in the future and become one of the big stars in the maybe 10, 12 years from now on. So
Absolutely.
now, coming to the next question is about Beth Mooney, the Gujarat Giants captain, finally getting back to the form, which is what you were telling at least a few days back when they lost their last game in the Bangalore leg, that the captain needs to come. And today she just came back in form and showed the form, showed what the captain was needed. Do you think that it's a good sign that now captain is leading from the fin? And do you think this is the way she should be doing in the upcoming games going forward?
Absolutely. I really think it's great sense for Gujarat. And see, again, as I said before, it's not a complete team performance. There were a couple of things that could have gone either ways, but that's just the way the game is played. Sometimes it goes your ways, and today it was clearly Gujarat's day. But clearly, if the entire team can take this innings, they can draw inspiration from Beth Mooney or Laura Wolvaardt. I think I do. I don't want to be a little partial there. Both of them played great innings, and but two people, international stars who have come to the team. I'm sure the local, domestic players really look up to them, to their work ethics and the way they've gone ahead with their game plan today. Can draw some inspiration, take some technical tips as well. Anything that helps, and it kind of, more than all of this, I'm sure they're doing all of this even constantly. It just rubs off, when things are going your way, you're in a more positive mindset, and as I said, never say never. So, but coming to Beth Mooney, I think it was long coming. Again, law of averages, when she's not had a great tournament so far, and by the standards she set, it's almost not surprising to predict that one of these games she's going to come good, and she just came great. And even though she was going at full power, I think when Laura was there, she kind of was actually giving Laura the strike because she was striking amazingly. But just as she got a run out, I think the guilt of it all made it even more better for her because she just started striking at a whole different level. And when the Australian keeps going, it's very difficult to stop her. And hopefully there are some. I mean, the only difference I would like to see in their batting order might be a little controversial, but I think Ashley Gardner should come top of Phoebe Litchfield. I think especially in situations like this, when there's a normal with a proper base set, because Ashley Gardner can hit the long ball. Phoebe Litchfield also can. I mean, she's a great player, really classy player, as you should say, but she can be more utilized when you're building an innings. But when it's already a stage is set and you need someone to come in and go bang bang. And Ashley Gardner was not able to do it. I think it was a little too late, and then it didn't go away. But that's one thing I need to see. But I don't see why not the rest of the team can take inspiration from this, and the rest of the matches can still turn it around.
Yes, Shreyas, what your opinion? You were
Yeah,
talking about well about it. Can you
yeah.
give
So,
more? Yeah.
yeah, sure. Right. So, Beth Mooney, I feel like if I were to compare her to a player in like men's cricket, I would say that would be Kane Williamson, because both are great players of spin, touch players, play the ball so late. They read the length perfectly, and I felt again both Wolvaardt and Mooney did this today. They placed the ball so well into the gaps, but I felt especially after Wolvaart's dismissal, the entire Gujarat Giants team could have done much better in giving more strike to Beth Mooney. I feel 100 was really there for her for the taking. Like she began to switch gears and looked even more dangerous after that. That's where I feel they missed a trick. But it happens usually when you see these long opening stands. The player who comes after that sometimes struggles to adjust to the pitch quickly. I I disagree with you in the sense that Litchfield should come after Gardner, because I feel Litchfield is very similar to Alice Capsey in the sense they are both devastating strikers of the ball. Like Litchfield, in her limited T20 international career, has a strike rate of 170. Like she's a really attacking player. I just felt, for an Australian youngster to come into India and like after playing so many days in Bangalore, if you're playing your first match in Delhi and you come into bat in the 14th or 15th over, might have been a bit tough for her to like adjust to the pace of the wicket. But again, Beth Mooney captaincy wise also, I feel like yes, they did give away a few runs at the end, but she backed her youngsters. You could hear her on the stump mic. She seems
Yeah.
to have developed a good rapport with these youngsters, especially the left arm spinner. Sanuja Kanwar, she gave Shabnim Shakil 3 overs, which I didn't think she would. Really happy with that. Like
I think
that's one of
every
the
ball she was saying, well bowled, well bowled. I could hear
yeah.
at the end of every ball. Yeah.
So yeah, Beth Mooney totally get, and as you rightly point out, law of averages for a player like her. She was the highest scorer in the Women's Big Bash League. She is genuinely one of the best batters in the world right now. Like after Meg Lanning retired, in my opinion, she's the best batter in this Australian team. Like she's consistent in a way I don't think any other batter in the world can be, and it's been a surprise to see her get those starts and not convert them so far. So glad to see that she got transferred.
Yes, I also completely agree. I think law of averages, one day there will be a big innings when you're not out of form, that jinx you will break. For me, I before we go to the next question, I also believe I enjoyed seeing her batting. For me, whenever I see her bat, it gives me a resemblance of David Warner. Some of the shots she plays as a left-hander gives me a little bit of resemblance of David Warner, classy left-hand batsman. So going to our next question
I
is,
think I
let's
think one more just one more thing, Karthik, before we go to the next question. I think Shreyas said Kane Williamson and he said David Warner. What they both do is they quickly rock back on the back feet, on the back foot, and they cut it
true.
behind
Yeah,
the
agreed.
square of the wicket. I think that's
Yes.
what she great. I think that's one thing that we all three of us saw, but we saw different aspects of it. And I think
True.
yeah, that's the connection. Just quickly picks up the length and cuts it behind point. So yeah.
That's absolutely true. Both are typical classy players and classy shots, and they have so much time in the world to play the shots. So coming to our next question is about analyzing about the Gujarat Giants bowling and fielding today. Today they looked like completely out of it. This is not the same Gujarat Giants we saw a few nights or a few days back in Bangalore. In Delhi, looks like they were completely different in the field. In the field, they took a lot of catches. Their fielding were outstanding, runouts, and their bowling was outstanding. So, in all, what can you tell? What has changed in their bowling and fielding aspect coming into Delhi?
It's just
think,
a psychological aspect,
yeah,
just plain psychology. I think, just after the kind of innings, we were talking about, will the rest of the team draw inspiration? I think it was a little bit of that. They said they saw their captain doing it for them. I think they wanted to pull in, and pull weight for them. So I think that's what worked for them. They were amazing at the field, and hopefully good signs for them. They can continue to the next match. And again, as I said, we'll end with it. Never say never. In a tournament like this, it's never over.
yeah, and
Shreyas,
another
your
thing to
opinion.
point out, yeah, so Laura Wolvaardt in that extra cover region, she loves playing shots in that region, but she's probably as good fielding in that region. She was fielding in cover, and she covered the ground between point and extra cover all by herself. You could see the amount of times Sophie Devine or Elise Perry hit a well-timed shot there, and she converted all those doubles into singles. And it's all these little stuff that adds up to the pressure that leads to batsman playing a shot like that. So yeah, great fielding, and like he said, it's has a lot to do with how they batted in the first innings. That just gives the whole team a boost. And again, how Ashley Gardner bowled it in the power play just killed the game off. I feel that allowed them to, like, even even if some of the lesser experienced bowlers gave away some runs, it gave the captain the freedom to give the ball to them once again and say it's okay, because they knew they were going to win.
Okay, I'm sorry, we are running out of short of time now. Now to the next thing is about tomorrow's match is between UP Warriors and Mumbai Indians. What is your opinion and who's going to crack it? We know MI lost badly against Delhi Capitals, but UP Warriors will be playing their first game in Delhi. So what is your opinion? Who's going to come top in this battle tomorrow night?
Gresham, do you want to
You
take
go
this
first,
first?
Shreyas. I'm not having a good time predicting from the last couple of times. So I'm going to take the second time
Uh,
here. All yours.
yeah, so UP, I see the right. So I feel I personally like the UP Warriors as a side, but
Any
given
any any
the
reasons? Any reasons? Specific
uh,
reasons?
yeah, so I like the all rounders they have in their team. Talia
Right.
McGrath, Grace Harris. I just because of the fact that they were the team that finally had Chamari Athapattu in their team, which I think is criminal that no one went for them in the auction. Gujarat Giants should have gone for her at the auction. After the horrible season they had last time, they need a proven match winner. They spent all that money on Phoebe Litchfield, who again, I have nothing against her, is a good player. But Athapattu
Right.
can do whatever Litchfield does better, and on top of that, bowled 4 overs of off spin for 20 runs and how many ever wickets she had. So I can't understand why they didn't buy her. But just for that fact, I'm a huge UP Warriors fan. So I won't say I'm going to back them to win, but no, right, the point I was coming to is that it's going to be hard for them, because I feel they don't have the yeah, they do have Danny White on the bench. I don't see her getting a game time anytime soon. Uh, but I don't think they have the variety in their bowling attack to quite crack it on this bowling surface. Especially now that Mumbai Indians have Harmanpreet Kaur back in the batting lineup, and we are seeing Yastika Bhatia 2.0 right now. I feel last match MI didn't click. Their main three all-round trio of Nat Brent, Hayley Matthews, Amelia Kerr didn't click. But with this being a must-win game, I have to give the edge to the Mumbai Indians, even though I'm a UP Warriors fan. Obviously, a lot will depend on the toss as well. Uh, Especially if there's gonna be no dew, then I feel batting first is now like a pretty better choice than bowling first. And UP Warriors do have those game changer kind of players, which I don't think all the teams have. Grace Harris, single-handedly, she's I feel like she's the equivalent of Heinrich Klaasen in women's cricket. Devastating batter, pretty decent bowler, the best game changer in women's cricket right now. Like in the women's Big Bash League, she scored 500 runs at a strike rate of 170. Who does that? If someone does that, they have the best season ever. She has done it so far in the WPL. I'll say her performance will decide tomorrow's match, but I'm predicting a win for the Mumbai Indians. They just have a
Girish,
better all-round bowling
yes,
attack.
yes. Now, Girish, can you
I
quickly
don't know.
read out your
See, again,
prediction?
I can't be very neutral here. I've been
Yes.
trying to think it from the point of view of an RCB fan. but it's really difficult because it looks like we have a clear first place in this form of Delhi, and for the second place and the third place, which will then play the eliminator to face the finalist, will be UP, Mumbai, and RCB. So I really don't know, and I'm sure the result of this match will greatly affect how the future matches will be viewed at. As we go to the business end of tournaments, we're going to start seeing the run rates come into play, and who's beat whom, and how all those are going to come into play. So with that in mind, I really don't know who to support. But in terms of who I think is going to make it, as he said, I think I should agree with him. I think Mumbai looks, just a more complete team. They're, irrespective of the tournament, they're always blessed with a killer team with some really great names and some really, really good, all rounders. So the women's team looks the same as well. So I wouldn't be surprised. And just one more thing before I end, I think Shreyas was saying it's criminal that that Atapattu was not picked up. I should say that I felt the same way about Dasun Chanaka in the IPL. Way before he was picked by GT or whoever.
GT.
It's kind of a weird thing that I don't know if it's I don't know what it is. I don't know if I can say it on camera, but a lot of subcontinent players are. Ignored, but I think that's the topic for another day. I think we're running out of time, so yeah.
Yes, we are running out of time. We can have a long discussion. We'll go endless. But now, before ending, I would love to show from now on, every match is important for every team. Yes, it's clear for DC, they'll finish on number one and they'll directly make it to the semi-final one. But other three teams are going to fight to secure the fourth. So every match from here, every battle is going to be interesting on who makes the top four. And let's see who will make the top four in the coming days. Now,
I think we can
thank
say
you.
4 teams. Gujarat Giants also are probably lurking in there
Yes.
still with the chance.
Yeah,
Yes.
let's give them that. They've had a good day. I think we can give them that much. Yeah.
Yes,
I think
let's
they
see
will
what happens. Now, get into the business and go into the further. It will just be interesting, as we have always seen in IPL, the business ends getting interesting. And we will just get in to see what will happen tomorrow in the upcoming nights of how VBL's business end is going. And this season, we can expect a firecracker end. Now, thank you for that. First of all, I would like to thank our special guest Shreyas for joining and making most of his time, taking away a lot of his time and coming here. And again, Girisham, as usual, again, thank you for coming here. We thank you for tuning into Stumps and Sixes show tonight. Hope you liked it. Please subscribe and tune in to our next show. That's it for tonight.